Both Diablo 3 and Sacred 3 have been streamlined since their last games to make couch co-op multiplayer easy to get into. Though Diablo 3 is clearly the better action RPG, Sacred 3 does some interesting things to make that couch co-op experience as painless as possible. So which is the better game for you and your friends to flop down on some cushions with and cut a swath through some fantasy hordes? In Diablo 3, each player on the one console can log in with their own PSN or XBLA character. If someone doesn't own the game themselves, they can create a new character that is stored locally and boosted to the level of the other players. Now this local character only has its stats scaled. It still actually starts at level 1. It can hold its own in a fight, but it can't actually use any of the loot that it finds until it's quickly leveled up alongside the rest of the party. Sacred 3 gets around this because the game only rewards new loot at the end of each quest. That specific weapon will always be rewarded at the same time for each individual character, so there's no need for that loot to have a level requirement. Now because of this, when you make a local character in Sacred 3, that character only ever exists for that session. If you come back later, you'll need to make a new character again at whatever level the party leader is at, but you'll still have the same items and skills available to choose from. For couch co-op, this works far better. Diablo 3 supports 4 players in couch co-op, while Sacred 3 only supports 2. In order to reach Sacred 3's maximum player count of 4, you need to be playing online. However, you can still use the second player's locally created character in online play, thereby allowing 2 people per console or per PC to play in a single online game. In Diablo 3, each player on one console can log in with their own PSN or XBLA character, even if they don't own the game. They just need that free PSN or Xbox Live account. If someone doesn't have an account, they can create a new character that is stored locally and boosted to the level of the other players. For Diablo 3 on current-gen consoles, at least one player needs to have an Xbox Live Gold or PlayStation Plus subscription to let locally created characters play in online games. On PS3, PlayStation Plus is not required, and local characters can play online without any issues. On Xbox 360, every player needs their own Xbox Live Gold subscription to play online. Otherwise, the game will be forced into LAN mode, which means you can't play against other people. Depending on your setup, these restrictions could be limiting if you and a buddy want to play against 2 other distant friends. So if your couch only has space for 1 other friend, then you're set with Sacred 3. But if your king-size sofa needs warming, then only Diablo 3 will give you that 4-player fun. In Diablo 3, only one player is able to view their full inventory screen at a time. The entire game stops, and other players have to wait their turn. This gets old really fast. To compensate, you can use the D-pad to cycle through new items without bringing up the full inventory window. But not enough information is shown, so it's hard to tell exactly what each item does. It's inevitable that each player will eventually have to stop everything and sort through their full inventory at regular intervals. Sacred 3's streamlining makes its own inventory management far less of a headache for other players. Because new items and skill modifiers are only unlocked at the end of each quest, never during combat, the game provides a set moment for you to manage your inventory, and at the only time that you ever need to manage it. Both players in couch co-op mode can see and sort through their own inventories on the screen at the same time as each other, with no need to stop and take turns. While Sacred 3 makes headway in the inventory management space, Diablo 3 does a far better job of managing each player's physical location. The game will smartly teleport any player who wanders too far to the edge of the screen back towards the rest of the party. Because all players need to be kept on screen, this means that someone can get up to go and get a snack, and the other players can continue exploring, because the absent player will be teleported along with the group. Sacred 3 includes no such system, so if one player stands idle at the edge of the screen, the other player will be completely unable to move forward until they return. Though Diablo 3 is a superior action RPG to Sacred 3, it's not the perfect couch co-op game. Having 4 players take on the primeval on the same console makes for a great time, but it's time beset by constant inventory management interruptions, and the need for all players to have their own characters for the smoothest result. But if you're planning on playing with a single friend, then Sacred 3 streamlining still makes for a fun couch co-op experience.